Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, ladies, and gentlemen, I bring to you one of the things on my wish list. It's only $15. Should I get it? Dun, 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 dun. I always wanted to play this game, and everybody tells me this game is awesome. Everybody and their mama. Everybody and their mama tells me this game is
Far from
cool.
real open country. More and more civilization. What a damn mess we're making of things.
Dang, doesn't that sound awesome? Doesn't that just sound amazing? Anyway, sounds amazing. I gotta admit, sounds pretty good. Today, we're gonna snap into some Tarkov. I'm gonna get some scavenging done and get some loot. And then we're gonna see if anybody wants to jump in. If anybody wants to jump in, you know we can do this. We can do this. All right. Good night. Oh, oh, Alrighty, daddy. Do you wanna be live tonight? It's going down tonight. Everybody's gonna feel good tonight. Alright, everybody feel good. Hell yeah, I know you would. Got to get on the talk call. Got to get it on tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving for all you Americans and all you other people. I hope you living it. I hope you living the good life, everybody. Because Thanksgiving is kind of bullshit. I will say that. Because while some people are, having a good time, some people aren't having a good time. Some people aren't even eating, you know what I mean? So, how can I be cool and everything when there's just people that have less? And then, the Indians, we took, Native Americans, we took all that land and stuff, killed all them buffaloes, man, took a picture of all them skulls. But enough about me. Let's talk about Tarkov. Tarkov's a pretty cool place. You got a lot of things going on, alright? A lot of things going on. Alright, check out all my stuff, man. While you were away, woo, I got organized. Yeah, check it. So yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So I'm trying to get some gear. I need medical supplies. Yeah, I need these. Pile of meds. I need some of that. So let's go get it. Let's go get it. 4 a.m.? Nah. And you just don't get it. Alright, I got a shotgun with a flashlight. I like it. I like it a lot. Hopefully we get out of there. Hopefully we get in. Alright, she's loading the loot, ladies and gentlemen. We will begin soon. Alright, it's getting ready. It's getting ready. He's getting ready. Alright, so last time I was on this, it was ridiculous, and I died immediately because I walked outside and some kind of bombs just went off like crazy. Oh, I know you cats be getting in this room, cause how else is there freaking dust on my thing? You know what I'm saying? All right, here we go. All right, got a lot of stuff. Sweet. I'm in a good spot.
Просыпаю! Пацаны меня щемят! Сюда! Клепают меня тут!
All right.
Валим в стороны!
Let's go get him.
Пацаны меня щемят!
Come on. Can't really get out of there, huh? Alright.
Straight ahead! If you're afraid to fight, you're pathetic! You were born for this bullshit!
Damn. He's good. Scavs didn't work out. Darn it. Couldn't do it. I guess I just didn't have it in me. Why, Lord? Why? yeah. Everything's over now. Eh. I mean, let's try it. No. Go back. I must insure everything. Because insurance is the only way. Sight.
Jeanette, appreciate you. Soul of Hep. We will have another one at the once we get through the March lunar eclipse next year. We will not have another full lunar eclipse. I should say it that way to keep it simple. We won't have another full lunar eclipse all the way until New Year's 2029. So on the last day of 2028 in the Gregorian calendar, moving into January 1st, 2029, we will have a total lunar eclipse then, but that means we will be going quite a few years without any other full lunar eclipses. As many of you are aware, we just had one back in September, and we will have another one at the beginning of March. So we don't want to talk too much about that crypto stuff today, though. It's been a minute. I haven't hung out with you guys in some time, so we want to talk about life. We want to have a stream of consciousness. All the other things that are way more important. Of course, there's going to be things that come up along the way about money, finance, investing mindset, etc. But we're going to try to not get too deep in the trenches with the crypto talk, with the blockchain talk, because that's what everyone expects, right? It's a big reason why I wanted to come out and do this live stream today, because I wanted to reconnect with everybody. And I remember all of the years of doing these during the bear market, the last bear market, and just seeing where everyone's at in the process, you know? And I actually really miss doing these lives a lot. So I think we'll be doing them a little bit more often, intermittently. We'll see. Can't make any promises. As many of you are aware, I've made a brand new project this year. I got another brand new project coming out at the beginning of the year 2026. So I am building in the background. I'm keeping myself very in creator mode. And I hope that inspires a lot of other people who've connected with my art to also unlock their creator within, to be more creative and to put their energy into something that has more meaning than sitting around waiting for something to happen with the markets. Not Tom Cruise. I won't even say it. It's hilarious. Pablo Rivera, sending lots of love. I appreciate you. Rebecca Carrington. Oh yeah, I just thought about that. Yeah, November 22nd, you're right. It's the JFK day. Shit. Oscar Grouch, sending lots of love. Rudy, Wolf, Eddie, appreciate you. All right, we're about 6 minutes into today's live stream. Gonna get into some questions. Got a new member, Michael CG7UH. Sending lots of love. Appreciate you. Appreciate your support.
Alright, we're gonna check this out. We're gonna check this place out, right? I'm gonna try to go to the dorm room. Let's see what's good.
Cosmic Renegade. Who here thinks we're heading into a bear market? This is the question. This is what everyone's talking about. Digital Hutch, sending lots of love. I think this is Tarzanagram. Appreciate you, brother. Sending lots of love to you. Adam says if MicroStrategy gets liquidated, the government will seize all Bitcoin. Let me get to this. Let me real quick. Let me see if I can pull it up. You guys can see what's on my screen right now. I'm gonna hide Adam's comment. My logo, 1 second, apologies. Boom. This post that I made was from May 27th of this year. This is actually something that I talked about 2 years ago, prior to this post, with regards to Michael Saylor. And everything that happened to MicroStrategy in the year 2000, heading into 2001, and how that was a snake year. And we're in the year of the snake now. For those who are listening and aren't looking at your screen, the tweet I made said, expect a St. Michael ritual this year. He was born in 1965, which was the year of the wood snake, and this year of 2025 is also the year of the wood snake. Few were aware what happened to him back in 2000, which led to his stock crashing 99.99% into the year 2001, the year of the snake. And then I put a date there, which we just talked about a little bit ago, which was the last total lunar eclipse on September 7, 2025. A very powerful numerological code, considering that the year we're in, 25, you would reduce that 2 plus 5. Of course, you could do the full year, 2 plus 2 plus 5, but most of us, we just start to use the last 2 digits, typically when we're talking about the year. So we have 25 adding up to 7. We have the 7th day. That eclipse happened in the month of September. We have Septem starts with the prefix. That means 7 in Latin. So you have the 777. And again, I just gave this date, but what's really fascinating is the fact that we are actually seeing a St. Michael ritual happen this year. And whether the timing is right or not, the point was that after September 7th, we should see things start to get a little wonky. And this is going back a while ago, this information. But again, I'm really trying to avoid talking specifically about crypto here. I wanted to just aim, the target at this particular individual and the ritual that we're seeing right now. And if anything, my feelings on this are that, damn, they're trying hard, aren't they? Because they're giving us 2 people. They're giving you the Epstein thing that just happened like a week ago. And then they're also giving you the Michael Saylor thing in tandem. So it's feeling like the Do Kwon situation with Terra Luna and the Sam Bankman-Fried situation with FTX are happening at the same moment. And that this free fall acceleration of the market is pretty clear, especially here in crypto and strategy, micro strategy stock. It's pretty fascinating how how hard they're trying. And this is on pretty much the anniversary time of the FTX crash. For those that don't remember, FTX and their native token FTT, it collapsed into a total lunar eclipse. So this was why when I made this post back in May, I put that total lunar eclipse date. But anyways, let's move on. This is by no means an I told you so sort of thing. I really don't give a fuck. I've never had much prana to give to this man, Michael Saylor. You should all know everything that's popular is wrong, and anytime you start seeing something become quite popular, that should bring you to a posture of being a little bit more intuitive and not so trusting of the, well, I don't think I need to tell you guys this. You should already know. Not so trusting of the narratives, and that works in both directions. So when things are getting very, very fearful, which they have been lately, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? As they say, buy when there's blood in the streets. Let's get back to the live chat. Clementine, appreciate you showing up. Hope you are having an amazing Saturday. Cita Vida, appreciate you. Be getting to some questions in a moment. Rebecca Carrington, today's sponsor yeah. Today's sponsors
Why can't I just
are,
shoot that guy? Oh my god. How you gonna get killed
Donald
so
Trump's
fast?
hair transplant.
You can't run away.
The Epstein created Bitcoin psyop. Sam Beckman-Fried's Jew
All
fraud.
that for nothing.
And falafel sandwiches.
Damn it, what the hell? Hit me in my thorax. Yeah, I guess that's a good size bullet.
Bro's gotta be using a voice changer. Unseen Reality 2022 says, Waters, what's the best way to make cash flow? Create a business. You need to create a business. I think a lot of people are going to try to learn ways to make cash flow in crypto, for example, or with staking, or, you know, liquidity pool stuff. Maybe even some like AI bot trading using leverage. I would honestly avoid all of that unless you know how to generate cash flow from business. And it doesn't need to be just one bit. Like, I mean, it could be, there's many, many things you can do. But I think if you avoid creating a business, you're just going to be in this like indefinite loop of putting in a bunch of energy into something and then watching it all crash and burn. And it could all crash and burn in one single moment. Yeah, I guess I should unpack what I just said, because like a lot of the time when people try earning cash flow in the ways that we've been sold on in the last 10 years or so, particularly the past like 5, especially for those that are into crypto and investing, is it's always with actively trading. And I've seen a bunch of people like double, triple, quadruple their portfolios, and they made all this money from a couple of leverage trades, and then they get into one bad trade, and in that one bad trade they get liquidated. So it all goes to shit. But when you create a business, look at it as an investment in yourself. So the laptop you purchase, the microphone, the advertising that you're paying for, the consulting fees that you have for people to teach you, you know, how to do something that's one of your weaknesses, or perhaps hiring somebody who's a specialist to do something that's one of your weaknesses. Or if you would like to have a strength at something, hiring coaching, hiring somebody to be a mentor to you, whatever it is, you are getting better. You're not just gambling away on the hope of the whatever that will come from this trade that you're in. So I guess that's a better way to unpack it and not just like leave everyone hanging with some like basic answer, you know? So my truth is as simple as that. Like with investing in yourself by creating a business, you could create something that's timeless. That's actually the purpose of Waters Above University. And there will be something special that I'll be sharing with you guys in about a month or so. Again, we launched Waters Above University back in the start of this year, January 2025. I can't believe it's almost been a full year. If anyone who is in our university is hanging out with us right now, shout out to you. Much love. I appreciate you so much. We were doing cohorts that were in the month of Jan, April, July, and then we've stopped since. And I don't want to reveal too much, but something big coming for 2026, and yeah, I'll just stop. I don't like talking about something unless I have something to show. Eclipse BTC, well, you never know. Anything's possible in the Matrix. They said we need a Saturn Day stream more often.
Oh yeah.
Love you too, brother. Yo, Unseen Reality 2022, I am drinking hibiscus tea as well. Cold brew hibiscus tea with some lemon added. Cheers. Johnny Warbucks, I appreciate you sending love. You don't know what I know? 888 said first time on your channel, but I've heard a lot about you. Well, welcome to the sauna. It's gonna get sweaty in here. We're just getting started, and grateful for you showing up, truly.
Well, oh well, oh well.
Yo,
feeling about this.
Steve, you're in Rwanda? That's dope. Shout out to Rwanda. Parker Lee, sending lots of love. Got about 570 hanging out with us. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys. Sorry, I'm looking and talking at the same time. Arizona Lane, sending lots of love. I hope you're doing well. Cloudy Sweet Pea, I'm not sure why you're revealing this information. Oh man, this chat's getting wild. Oh man, Cosa Nostra says, bro, I had withdrawal symptoms when you said that. Yo, I love you, bro. Like, I'm just doing so much. Like, I'll be honest with you guys. I'll be real with you all right now, okay? I don't know how many active creators are in here, or how many of you who are in here who are business owners or whatever you got going on, but I'll admit, one of the things that I really wanted to make sure of when I created Waters Above was to not become this person that like I live my life to make the next video, or to just be like a content buffet, you know? Like I really wanted to avoid content. I wanted to make art, and I wanted to kind of do it on my own terms and do it my way. And I've had so many people that have said like, I wish you made more videos, I wish you did this, I wish you did that, but like nobody really cares like how you feel when you're in your process. And as an artist, like I feel like it's very important to only create when it's time to create. And anybody who's been listening to these live streams over the years, you know this about me, how much I honor artists that only create on their terms. Because when it's time to, there's a powerful aura around it. There's a life force energy that's attached to it. It's not just released information for the sake of information. And what I'm noticing more and more clearly over the years is that the world doesn't want art anymore. It wants content. And like I think the AI art generation stuff has clearly like sealed the deal on the hope that I have for the world with regards to like true art and creation. And I'm not trying to like let my opinion bleed into this with what I'm revealing to you right now, but anybody who's doing what I'm doing, like the burnout gets real. And not everybody has the spine to take the criticism and the hate and all that, but I do. I've been through this already, you know? So I know how to protect my prana, how to protect my life force energy, and I don't want to be a content creator. Like, I am not a content creator. I'll speak from that vantage point. I am not a content creator. I'm an artist. And whenever I put this microphone in front of my fucking face, I want it to have power. I want the words to make you feel something. Otherwise, why the fuck are we doing it? Why are we doing it? We must avoid just sharing for the purpose of purely sharing. Like, there has to be some life behind it. There has to be something more. And this is what 2026 was for me. It was like a introspective journey through what do I want to do moving forward, and how do I want to do it, and how can I be truly honorable in the process of doing whatever it is that I'm going to do. And not worry about, oh, I'll lose followers, I'll lose subscribers, I'll lose this, I'll like, fuck that. You don't lose anything when you're operating in truth. And sometimes I look at like the people around me who are creating like like let's just say crypto content creators, and I'm not going to throw out any names, but it's people making like 5 videos a week, and I'm like, what is your real life then? Like, is this it? It's like a even worse form of news, like mainstream media. Like when you watch CNN, it's like literally becoming CNN. Like, today on crypto, fucking 3 planes crashed in North India. Like, that's what it's become. It's like irrelevant. You don't even like. No one even gives a fuck anymore, because the expectation that the consumer has is, here's the 20 content creators that I subscribe to, and they will drip me content as I want all the time. And for me, like, I think it's not necessarily like a I won't say it's like a fuck you to not release content, but it's more like my way of showing what I'm really about, like who I really am. And I feel like I'm just getting started. Like, seriously, like I'm approaching year 5 in this journey. And I'm like, oh man, I'm just getting started. Like, there's so much more ahead. There's so much more ahead. There's so much cool shit we're gonna do together. Seriously, like, you have no idea what I'm about to release next year. It's gonna be fucking mind-blowing. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I got a message from Melanie. She says, your lives helped me transition out of a relationship about 2 years ago already. I was looking forward to the weekly 2 to 3 hour. Well, I'm glad we're reconnected today. I appreciate your vulnerability. This is it means a lot to me to be a part of somebody's journey, truly. Gratimas says, How would you advise someone who is caught within a self-destructing loop of existence? How can you integrate that and rise above it? First and foremost, like, you're conscious of the fact that you're doing this. So it's kind of like the mouse that walks up to the hamster wheel and starts running on it, and then when you get off and you're huffing and puffing and you're like running out of breath, you go and catch your breath in the corner of the room, and then you stare over at the the hamster. I don't know what to call it. You guys know what the hell I'm talking about. But you're like staring at the wheel, and you're looking at it, and you'll be like, oh, that fucking wheel, like. But you don't even realize that, like, you keep walking back onto it. Why do you keep doing that? But you know what you're doing. So I think my number one method here in any of these responses is to just be a mirror. Without filter. To just be a mirror. Right? So you're asking, how would you advise someone who's caught in a self-destructive loop? First of all, you have to realize that the reason that you're stuck in this concept of an existence is because you think this has a purpose. But life doesn't have a purpose. The machines have a purpose. My microphone has a purpose right now. Hear what the fuck I'm supposed to use. My Wi-Fi has a purpose. Somehow makes it over to your computer so that you can hear it. These are the things that have purpose. But an organism, an organic being, a human, if you want to call yourself that, a light being, whatever you identify as, that doesn't have purpose. So the trap here is when we think we need purpose, we get stuck in this concept of existing. Purpose. You have life. And the binary here, the duality here, is you either have existence or you have living. So the purpose of life is to live. There's something going on with your attachment to the idea of what you're here to do. And you're not allowing what you're here to do. This is kind of brutal in a way. And at least what's good about what we're experiencing here is the fact that we know what we're doing. Every addict knows what they're doing. And then we shelve whatever shame, guilt, or whatever it is somewhere in a filing cabinet that we know exists, but we are too afraid to open it up and face what's inside of it. So you have to start becoming more grateful for this experience called life. And then the concept of an existence will wither away. You're not here to exist. You're here to live. So what's your why? You have to identify your why. My why is to connect the people. It took me a long time to figure that out, but look at where we're at right now. I have people all the time that reach out to me and say that they've made friends from this community. Some people have made life partners from this community. I had no fucking idea that that would be a possibility. If I If I went back, let's speak English here. If I went backwards 4 or 5 years ago and I said to myself, oh, by me just sharing my truth into this microphone, that it would bring other people together from around the world, I would have told myself, there's no fucking way that's possible. There's no fucking way. And at the time, Gratimas, if you're still listening, at the time, I wasn't quite clear on the why. I just wanted to express. So if I can give you something that you could integrate to rise above whatever it is that you're going through right now, find an avenue of expression, and then a clearer why will emerge. So when I started expressing how I felt with the world, in the exact way that I'm doing right now, I started noticing the community that was forming from it and how it was giving people a lot of power to be able to admit where they're at in the process. To have better posture, to have a stronger ego in a world that's telling you to have an ego death. I look at it quite the opposite. So you are either living or you're being used for your life force. I'll say it again. You are either living or you're being used for your life force. And when you start to find a way that you could express how you feel, and you don't feel any shame or guilt for that expression, the why will become clearer. And then there won't be this destructive loop of existence anymore. It will be an everyday, ongoing opportunity for you to refine what you are, what you represent, and what you're here to do. Cosa Nostra asks, how do you meditate? What is the best way? I don't meditate at all. I actually look at what we're doing right now as a form of meditation. I'm not really too keen on the traditional methodology of Eastern spiritualism. I have no problem with meditation though. It's just for me and the way that I'm built, it's not necessary. I'm able to express and utilize my thoughts as opposed to avoiding my thoughts or trying to quiet my thoughts. I don't want the inner voice inside of me to be quiet. I want it to come out of me. It's like, think about it like this, guys. You all know about parasites, right? Like flukes, ringworm, like parasites. Well, they're inside of you and you need to detox them. You need to get them out. So why the fuck are your thoughts being stored and kept inside of you, rotting? Like literally, then they become parasites and they start feeding on you. This, of course, is the concept of trauma in many ways. You store it. You're not designed to store things, guys. You were designed to inhale and release. So you get from the outside of you. Ooh, I should slow this down. You absorb the energy, then it filters through you, and then you release. Your filter could be considered your level of intellect or intelligence. It could be considered where you're at in the process today, how much knowledge or wisdom you have. Your gnosis, that is that filtration system. What is outside of you is what you observe. So it's what you take in, it's what you witness. So you witness, and then it goes through your filter, and then after it's done processing through that filtration, it has to be released. One person plays the music, someone dances. One person cooks the food, someone eats. Soon Keith says, can't wait for your Red Pill tomorrow, Marcus. Yes, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's Red Pill podcast. That will be available over at patreon.com/waters above for the mastermind community. And right now there is a Black Friday discount. It's my first Black Friday I've ever had for Patreon. And it's because Patreon now allows me to have that discount feature, which is really awesome. So if somebody's interested in joining the mastermind community over on patreon.com/waters above, you'll see the banner at the top of the website will allow you to get the first discount I've ever given for Patreon. So it's pretty awesome. And shout out to Patreon for allowing me to do this. It's been something I've wanted to do for years, but it was never possible until a recent update. So really, really stoked to offer that from now until Cyber Monday. So December 1st. chat right now.
Пацаны меня щемят!
Thank you. Appreciating the sponsors of today's Arizona Lane asks, what do you think of the 50-year mortgage?
Oh, no.
The memes about it are lit. Well, Lane, you tell me. You're in real estate, so I think your opinion here
Oh,
would be,
no.
or not only opinion, but your expertise.
I'm so
would be
sorry.
welcome.
So sorry.
I think
I
it's,
didn't know. I'm sorry.
Oh man. What if they had on TMZ where they
I
like
apologize.
made a huge deal
I'm so
about
sorry.
it? He said slavery is a choice. I'll just
Sorry.
Hey, I know that'll be incredibly offensive to some people, but the people who know what I represent knows they know what I mean.
Ah, that was dumb.
Pretty clear here.
Why
that
did
we
I
have
shoot
some,
him? I thought he was a player, really.
Some slow collapse
So
happening, and
I
it's
thought
being
if he
delivered
wore
to you
army
by the
pants,
greatest confidence man
that
in
means he's
history.
a player. Damn it. My courage.
Matt Grimes says you have to be in the right business at the right time of whatever is hot. That is, so that is why so many people fail. Absolutely. You know why I don't agree with this at all? It's not about being in the right business at the right time. It's about having your business be shown to the right customer or the right community or the right demographic, whatever you want to like. That's really what matters. There are evergreen businesses that will always need food, will always need haircuts, will always need a place to go work out or to get surgeries or, you know, some form of dentistry, or like there will always be something that somebody will need. And what I've learned more and more about the internet is it's allowed us to live in places that are not even physically close to the target customer, but with the expansive logistics operations that we have, effectively you can do a drop shipping business model and sell whatever product you have to anyone around the world and use very basic targeting with advertising or with creating content to get it in front of that audience, that specific audience who's in that specific thing. So people can say that like being in the right business at the right time is what's most important. But the reason I disagree with this, Matt, is because typically that quote unquote right business at the right time is not timeless. It's a momentary thing. Like during C19, people thought they were smart and they were buying a bunch of like bottles of fucking hand sanitizer. And yes, for like a little bit of time, people wanted to buy at a premium bottles of hand sanitizer. But now some of these same people are sitting on an entire garage full of fucking hand sanitizer that no one gives a fuck about and no one will ever buy at a premium. And then these people that are holding onto this inventory will have to sell it at a loss. It's a horrible fucking business in a long time horizon. Sure, it was the right business at the right time for a very small time. Very rarely are these hot, trendy business models long time horizons. They're cultural moments, like selling Trump merch. It's like it works for a moment, and then he won't be president someday, and then it'll become like a relic. Like everything is momentary in that way, and that's not my system for creating business. You need to look beyond that. And a lot of people fail because they just don't know how to get in front of the right audience. It's as simple as that. Blake resonates, sending lots of love. F Phantom says, how can I find out what business fulfills me and make it my income? Well, question to you is, what are you giving your energy to today? Like, what are you giving your prana to right now? For example, when I was getting into this particular business, I was not staring at the charts all day. I was studying the charts all day. I was teaching myself every possible thing I could learn about how those indicators worked, how they work on different time frames and on different assets. And you know, I could spend a lot of time going into that, but I made it a practice of mine to say, well, whatever I'm interested in right now could potentially be something that I could be useful for someone else. And in that way, it could become a business. Meaning, if you are passionate about something and excited about something, the other person on the other side will feel that passion and feel that excitement. And they are more likely to invest in you because of that excitement, because of the feeling that you have when you talk about it, or when you share it, or when you use it, or whatever it is that your product or service might be. So you need to tap into the fact that usually the thing you're the most interested in is a problem that you're solving. And now the magic here is that you've solved the problem, now you can help other people solve the problem. And that's most businesses. That's most inventions. So you said, I'm interested in many things, so and ready to learn new skills, but I don't know which direction to go and where to start. Well, it's like, what's the problem you locally solved? And are you still giving a lot of energy to it? That's probably something you should embrace as your business model. Like, it would make the most sense because it's the thing that you're actively giving the most attention to. It's not something you have to dig up in the, Rolodex of interests that you have from a decade ago. It's the current thing. So how do you convert the energy that you're putting into something now to be something that's useful for someone else right now? Richard Menard, much love over to Canada. True Challenge Proof asks, will you be sharing your music soon? This is tough because I haven't been able to work on music all year because of this new project that I have coming out. So yeah, I'm not sure. It's so interesting how like a year slips through our fingers like sand, like absolutely wild how quick 2025 went. I can't believe it, actually. I was working on a lot of music at what was it? I think the end of 2020, was it the end of 2023, I think, and then I put it on pause. Yeah, oh man. I gotta get back into it. Judo Jack, sending lots of love. I don't see anything here. I just see the super chat, but I'm sending you lots of love, brother. If I see your chat come in a little bit down the line, I'll make sure to cover it. Two trades. Shout out to you, brother. You said, do you think content creation will die one day? Seems like everyone wants to be a content creator and sell a course, even kids. Yeah, I think it's a good question, and I've asked myself a couple times, like, what's the future of things, specifically because of the rise of artificial intelligence and how quick and easy it is regarding the learning curve to utilize AI. And based on what I've heard from a couple of the technocrats that are out there that are doing these interviews, and they're pretty open about their opinions on what's to come, they're saying that it's going to get to a point where the prompts won't even need to be that sophisticated, and you'll get incredible output. So there's a world very close where programmers might not even be needed, because you can just like explain exactly what you want to AI, and it will create a website for you or create an app. And you know, there's this Base 44 website or company. They kind of do something like, I mean, they effectively do something like this, but I'm saying it's gonna get like scary, like where you can just like talk into your phone and it will make whatever the fuck you want almost instantly. And for anybody who's smart with AI, it's already like that for you right now. So two trades, the reason why I'm kind of prefacing with this information is because I've been seeing how many AI accounts are massive right now. Like, they are not using their real voices, they're just prompting whatever, and the visuals are incredible. Like, everything is amazing. Like, I kind of wish I could figure that shit out. Because in a way, I would be like, if people wanted more updates, I could just poop out these AI videos and be like, here you go. Like, I know that's going to make some people laugh, that's going to make some people cringe, but it's like, this is kind of what it's getting to. If people really want content that badly, that's how people are going to do it. You know? So it's not my vibe, though. I'm obviously like trolling right now when I say this. It's not my vibe. I'd rather just not make a lot of content, put out fewer things that are maybe longer form, and if I do have the time, I would rather connect with you guys like the way that I am right now, just in a live. So you're saying it seems like everyone wants to be a content creator and sell a course. I don't really think courses or content creation will die. I just think the way that we relate, like the relationship that the consumer or the supporter has with content will adjust, as it has been, right? Like, if you think about 10 years ago, the relationship that we all had with consuming content was longer form. Now we look at the relationship that we have with consuming content, it's like, it has to be under 15 seconds. So we live in a world right now where it's so fucking funny. The people that are like, I wish everything was free, like you should put out only free stuff, like, but then when you do put out a 30-minute free video, somebody's like, this is too long. It's like, what the fuck do you want then? Like, imagine you went to a restaurant and they were like, here's your free meal, and by the way, 18 cents. You'd be like, yo, I can't even eat all this shit, you know? And then you're sitting there complaining. I don't know how to even like, I don't know what the best analogy is here, but it's just so silly how people act. And the reason they act like this is because, one, there's too much content available, and two, the relationship they have with the content is a way shorter time horizon, like a shorter time span. So we can make fun of people and say, well, their attention spans are shit right now, but I won't even say that. I won't even go there and say that. Like, it just is what it is. This is the environment that we're working with right now. So, like, if you're somebody who's a quote-unquote content creator and you want to really, really grow, you must be doing shorts, you need to be doing TikTok, you need to be doing, like, all of this short-form content in order to thrive. Like, this is what they tell us, in order to thrive in this, like, future. And the fact that we have AI that could create it in seconds, it kind of presses us against, like, what's the next thing? Like, what is next? And I think we're already living through it. I think we're gonna get to a point very, very soon. Like, guys, I think we're like a year out, one fucking year out from you being able to talk an idea into an app or into AI, and it will create like a Hollywood level production movie. Like, it will be unbelievable, the quality. And by the way, the one thing that people are doing right now, you know what's the cringiest shit to me? Like, I guess we eventually had to get spicy. the cringiest shit ever is when something is posted on X. I don't even feel like calling it X anymore. It's just Twitter. When people post on Twitter, and then somebody says they at Grok. They're like, Grok, is this real? Like, how fucking stupid are you? Like, if you're somebody who's listening to this right now and you're asking Grok if shit is real, you are fucked. Like, you are 100%, 130,000% double-side dildo fucked. Like, I'm sorry, but this is, you're over. You're exactly what the New World Order was waiting for. They are salivating in this behavior. Literally salivating. So 2 trades. This is what we're up against. We don't know if anything's real. We don't want to take any time or energy into looking if something is real. And then what this means is, the better and better AI gets, it will be able to pass through any detection software to determine if it's real or not. So the next event that happens on the world stage, like 9/11 like, will be AI that is undetectable from reality. And it doesn't even need to be a real event. It could be a completely make-believe nuke or some shit. Like, they just released a movie recently kind of showing us what they're capable of. And the funny thing about the movie, I forgot the name of it, but it just came out. It was on Netflix. There's like apparently some attack. They blame it all in Russia, like they always do. And then, like they go into like DEFCON 3 or something. I don't remember the exact, level of bullshit they're doing. But then the movie never really tells you what happens. But it also never tells you like what it is. And it's so ambiguous and so vague. And to me, it's like exactly what I'm anticipating coming next. It's like, if there is to be a big event on the world stage, a lot of people are assuming it's going to be like some staged alien invasion where they use AI to create like some optical illusion of, whatever, like some space fleet of UFOs coming to Earth, shooting missiles at it or whatever. But I think it's going to be something as simple as a fake video. It's just going to be a fake video that they do like a public service announcement. They stop all of the internet, and for that moment they just they take over, and they're like, here's the event, and the whole world will capitulate. It'll be fucking weird. I don't know when exactly that will happen. That might take until like 2032. That might take until 2040. Some people who are listening to this right now might think I'm like dooming it. Absolutely not. I'm just letting you know kind of what we're working with here today is a level of gullibility, like dipshit times 1 million level consciousness in the grand, population percentage. Like, people are gonna be asking Grok, like, what to eat today. Like, Grok, should I take my shit now? Grok, I have to pee, but I'm not sure if I have to pee. Do I have to pee? Grok, do I pee now? Grok, do I pee in my toilet bowl, or do I, which one should I... Grok, should I talk to this woman at the bar? Grok, should I walk outside? Should I leave my house? It's absolutely fucked. Like, if you're using this technology and you're doing it like that, I'm sorry. Endgame.
Gonna kill you all, bastards!
I don't have, like, keep following and no one gives. Yeah, but like, what are you doing to get that out? Like, this is is the easiest time of all time for you to be able to share where you're at, like with your mind. Like, remember, Ed, I had no following at some point. I had 5 people, 10, 20, 50 subscribers. Like, it grew. It took 5 years. Like, it takes time. Hail Metallica says, sending spicy water energy from Michigan, brother. Out with the family, but we'll absolutely listen to this later. Much love, brother. I appreciate you. Reneva says, thoughts on drinking alcohol. This is going to be on, like, every time I talk about things like this, like, people get insanely judgmental, so whatever, who the fuck cares? We made it this far, right? If you're still listening. My take on anything is that, like, what's your relationship to it, and what's your level of understanding about what the ingredients and what is the thing that you're about to consume. So, for example, like, there's the concept of drinking alcohol where you go to, like, a club and you just smash back, like, a bunch of, like, low-quality vodka with, like, neon green fluid inside of it and some fucking sugar, like high fructose corn syrup. Or there's going out of your way to finding the, like, best quality Russian vodka that exists. Like, highest rated, like, the company cares so much about the product, the raw ingredients. You know, the same thing with whiskey, same thing with beer, same thing with all of that. And you know what really changed my perspective on this is when I learned how to brew beer. So I'll give you guys a quick understanding of where I'm at, right? I am the type of person that if I start to consume something, I want to then learn how to create it. So, like, I watched crypto videos and I was really interested in, like, what are these guys doing on the charts? So then I said, well, let's pause this consumption thing and let's learn what I want to learn how to do it so I could be self-reliant. So if I'm going to drink beer, which, by the way, I wasn't a huge drinker at all, but I got into craft beer naturally because I moved to Portland and everyone there is fucking drinking beer all day. So anyways, long story short, I got really into some craft beer stuff, and then I did the same process. I put it on pause. I don't live there anymore, by the way, but I put that on pause and I said to myself, let's learn how to make this thing that I'm consuming. So I taught myself how to make beer, and it absolutely changed the game on my outlook on all of it. And the same thing goes for coffee, the same thing that goes for anything. You know, there's an insanely high quality and very, like, intentionally crafted version of whatever exists in this world. So there's a big difference between a Hershey's chocolate bar and, like, a 80% single origin, single farm Rwandan, you know, cacao chocolate bar. Like, they're not the same. They're not at all. So that's my feeling on consuming anything that will be deemed quote unquote bad for you. Because trust me, when you go from, like, just drinking absolutely trash alcohol to actually, like, stepping up your game and going for quality, you're not going to want to consume as much because you're going to be more interested in the craft of it. So I see this happen with people all the time. Like, they get into drinking and they do it to get drunk. Like, stop that shit. Like, stop doing everything for the outcome. Do it for the process. Do it for the right, you get where I'm going with this. So I'm not here to tell everyone go out and start drinking or whatever. But the people that do drink, who listen to what I'm saying, are now going to refine the relationship they have with alcohol. And I can guarantee you that if they look at it from this vantage point, it's less about the demonization of the thing, and it's more about what is this thing? It's more about the understanding of the thing. And this is typically why the people who create the things that they're or they learn how to do the things that they're fascinated by, that they consume, it changes their relationship quite dramatically with this stuff because they start to be in awe of the process behind it. Like, very few people actually understand where their cup of coffee comes from. They just go to Starbucks, Starbucks presses a button, hot diarrhea falls in a cup, and then they give that to you and you pay $7 for it or whatever. It's a tragedy. But that coffee was once a fruit, and that fruit grows seasonally and needs to be harvested, and then needs to go through a processing method. And then after the processing method, it needs to be dried. It needs to be transported from somewhere along the equatorial band and brought to somewhere else, most likely the first world, where they will roast it. And then there is a whole other business behind it, a lot of intentionality when it comes to branding and marketing, etc. So there's so many hands that touch this product before it makes it into your cup. And when you learn more about that chain, it starts to make you much more understanding, and then your relationship with how you consume it also adjusts accordingly too. Now, another thing is if you forced yourself to only consuming the things that you made, by default, that would change the game. So if you went from drinking a bunch of nonsense beer to actually brewing your own, and then what's crazy about if you brew your own beer and you don't have enough money to like get a keg to like to speed up the carbonation process, and your bottle conditioning, so it's like upwards of a month, 3 weeks to a month. I haven't made beer in some time, so I might be off with the numbers, but effectively, like, once the fermentation is complete and then it goes into the bottle, it's going to need to sit in there for some time, and the fermentation process takes time. So your turnaround from like the brew to the consumption is like a fucking month. Like, are you ready for that? Imagine you told everyone on earth you're not allowed to eat bread unless you learn sourdough, and you have to make your own sourdough bread, which could take a full day. It could take 48 hours in some instances. We would see people change the relationship they have with consuming bread, for sure. And then one will actually be positive for the gut microbiota while the other one is damaging the gut microbiota. So it's like, there's so many perks to what I'm going through here. And I feel like you asked a simple question, but I gave like an answer that touches on many different questions that we would all have about these things. And hopefully you understand where I'm coming from with these ideas. I never demonize anything because I understand where we're all at with our relationship with that stuff. And it's very unsophisticated to just make everything the duality of good and bad. That's like kindergarten level way of looking at reality. Bathurst Diecast Racing says alcohol is poison. That's how it makes you drunk. Well, also psilocybin poisons the stomach, and it makes you have psychedelic experiences, which are very transformative. See, the way that people used to consume alcohol and the type of alcohol that was created at one time before it became this like huge scheme to get people into a very dark vibrational frequency, well, it used to be able to transcend you into a very light frequency. It had a psychedelic-like effect, but for very few. We also have to remember, everything is about placebo and everything is about the spell casting behind it. So if we take a concept of whatever, you know, I'm going to slow down because I want to make sense for everybody. But if I gave 2 cups of water, and 1 cup of water, I told you, it has an invisible toxin inside of it that I am almost certain will give you a lot of stomach pain. And then to the left, I said the same, but it's not going to hurt as badly. I bet you, if I filled them both with pure water, and then you had to pick the one that would hurt your stomach less, you would pick the one that would hurt your stomach less, and in 30 minutes, you will have a stomach pain. And you're drinking regular fucking water with nothing in it, because it's placebo. I'm just the magician that's able to control your mind. So you see what I did there? I'm saying you have 2 glasses of water. One's going to make your stomach hurt a lot. The other one's going to make your stomach hurt less. You have to drink one. Meanwhile, they're both filled with water, just plain. And you're gonna have that effect no matter what. Because your mind is already diagnosed. It's already selected, okay, this water, I'm being told, has this effect, and therefore I will feel that effect. It's just like the most classic example of anything. Everything is an illusion. Everything. And we fail to remember this because we've given our power away. Everything has to be about, what am I being told this thing does to me? Just like C-19, we were all scammed into thinking the stuff that a lot of you didn't fall for, because I know the community we have here. We're a little bit more, there's a little bit more luminescence in our light bulb, if you will. So the point that I'm saying is that you guys were much more prepared for the bullshit and the psyop, and you acted accordingly. But to the world, it was operating like like that placebo example that I just said. People were getting sick because they were told they will get sick, and they didn't. Nothing happened. It was a fucking mind parasite. Worked very well. Somebody's saying to not curse so much. It's like, this is just the way that I am. I'm sorry, but like, this is just the way that I am. If this is bothering you, this is maybe just not the right place and time. But like, this is the version of my expression today at this moment, and that's the way it's gonna be.
I just don't know where to go. I don't know where to go.
Blake Resonates says, I've been preparing my body for 4 months for a parasite cleanse. Any words of wisdom to help the die-off symptoms? That's I'm actually personally doing a parasite cleanse right now. Probably something I should have talked about, but I like to just do things on my own a lot and keep life to myself. But now that you bring this up, one thing that you could consider that I've been told is helpful with die-off would be consuming something called Mimosa pudica, which is going to help with the binding of this die-off to come out of you without getting released in chaos mode back into the bloodstream. So it will bind it all together, kind of like a gel, and it will be removed through you using the bathroom. So that's one thing. But there's other things out there, for sure. Some people have considered using different types of clays. I'm not necessarily a huge proponent of those, but again, do your own research. Herbs are a little bit better in these cases, I think, than we might want to accept. But then at the same time, it depends on the type of parasite cleanse you're doing. It depends on the current state of your health, like how toxic are you. I don't know, like, based off of all the knowledge that I have of you, if you're working with, like, I believe you're working with a pretty clean system. So your cleanse, I don't know if it needed 4 months to work up to. You're really going hardcore, probably didn't need that much. People who are insanely unhealthy, like they're morbidly obese and they would have obviously a lot of detox symptoms, those are the types of people that need a very lengthy preparation method. And before doing the parasite cleanse, they definitely need to consider a heavy metal detox first. But somebody like you, I'm not really too sure if you need to go so long in regards to your preparation, because from what I remember, you seemed pretty in shape and very healthy. Same thing goes with how long you do parasite cleanses for, or any detoxes. A lot of people are very hardcore and they do it for like a month straight, and that's not what I believe is the best methodology. What you should probably consider hitting it in intervals. So for like a week or 2 weeks, and
sure I
rates.
got 'em.
Sometimes you're trying to accomplish progressive overload on a particular lift, and it stalls out, like you plateau. And for some reason, taking like 2 weeks off could be exactly what you need to then break your PRs. Same thing with dieting, trying to lose fat, trying to lose weight in general. Like a lot of people, they do these hardcore diets, they go into extreme caloric deficits, and then effectively what happens is the metabolism catches up, it all hits equilibrium, and then now there's the effect doesn't work the same anymore. So taking a couple weeks off and just going into like a maintenance mode, or if even eating slightly in a caloric surplus could actually be insanely beneficial for when you go back into a caloric restrictive state. Now, again, I'm not telling anybody to calorically restrict. I'm not telling you to lose. I'm just giving you some examples of how I would go about any of these things. So the 4 months of preparation is pretty hardcore. I'm not sure what exactly you're doing for those 4 months. But for anybody who's listening, you don't need to go so hard in your prep to do a parasite cleanse. You could simply just start a parasite cleanse at any time and just make sure you're doing it the right way, and that you're keeping yourself hydrated, and that you're not overdoing it if it's your first time. So there's a protocol to increase the amount of whatever you're using for that said detox. Like, the typical one that we're used to hearing is a black walnut, green walnut hull, wormwood, and clove. It's a pretty popular one. It's the one I'm currently doing.
All right, you heard it there. Parasite cleanse, baby. Alright, so now we'll do a scav. A little scavenger hunt.
This is a really good question from Robert. They say, Waters, in what manner are you able to combine different modalities such as astrology, numerology, and gematria? Do you run same motive through these? Do you run some motive, I'm assuming, is what you meant to say? Do you run some motive through these lenses and then do a synthesis? You use any other tech? Robert, the way that I utilize these three things that you've just mentioned is it all comes back to mythology, and the mythology tied back to anatomy. So if I had to give anyone the truth of truths here, in my opinion, it's that everything is made of a reflection of your own inner standing. So know thyself. It's why in the Matrix movie, when Neo meets the Oracle, above her doorway it says know thyself in Greek, because when you know thyself, then now you are able to project that knowing and make connections with everything else that's happening around you. You become one. That's why Neo's name is Neo. It's short for neocortex. So Neo is an anagram also of the one. So when you know thyself, now man names everything around him, and that's what became astrology. So astrology is just the projection of the anatomy, and then again all of the other naming systems in our realm are accordingly. And then when you look into Kabbalah, they do a very good job at showing you this as well. Again, I would avoid joining like some Kabbalah cult or joining the Freemasons or any of that shit. You can just learn all of this on your own. Like, it's available on the internet. You don't need to join some weird some club. So to get to the truth of truths, it's all mythology, which is the byproduct of the human experience with our anatomy, and how our anatomy interweaves with someone else's anatomy. So that's called creation. So when man and woman come together, you create child. So that's the Holy Trinity. It's Father, Mother, Son. And the Son is the creator from the creators. And then it continues and continues and continues. This is why in the older displays of zodiac wheels, it always showed the savior character in the center. So the most recent would be, of course, Jesus Christ. So you have your zodiac wheel and you have Jesus in the center, representing the Son in flesh, the physical form of the God-man. And now, of course, religion was hijacked, and then they made this all about it being externalized, but when in actuality, it's all about you. So I know this sounds self-centered, but it's because it is. It's because it is self-centered. That's the whole concept. So you are the birth and experience and witness of all. And without you, nothing exists. So everything is happening through your observance, through your witness. And then from there, you start to connect all other dots. And the deceit that we have is this idea that it is not that way. It is not your way. Like, everything is happening and you somehow are just playing this super insignificant role. You're just like this little speck in the infinite universe, and you're basically an ant. To make you so insignificant, when in reality this entire existence is because of your experience, because of you experiencing this simulacrum by being jacked into it through your central nervous system. And then that's why the Matrix movie did a very good job at like giving you all the truth, because it's just showing you all the little, like when you see them getting jacked in through the back of the skull in the Matrix movie, and then they enter that sim within a sim, that's the brainstem. That's that jack-in point into the central nervous system. So, very deep movie. It revealed a lot in a lot of ways. But then what you'll also realize about the movie The Matrix is that they have mythology all scattered throughout it. And that's not... that's done for a reason. And then the numbers, which is where we get into numerology and gematria and the language, that all comes back to architecture. So all the secrets are hidden in plain sight. This is why the Masons call themselves the stonemasons, because they are the architects, the builders. Therefore, they are stewards of the secrets. But it's obviously not so simple, because this isn't stuff that you need to access these clubs in order to understand. It's all just you realizing what you are, and then from there, you realize the mission statement. So again, what Neo learns through his experience is that everything is about love. And the maker, the creator, which is likely just your higher self, not in physical form, would push you into procreation so that you can pass on your time into some other physical entity, so then it can now pass on its time into another physical, etc., etc., etc. Nothing would want to be purely spiritual. It would not. Like for right now, for anyone who's listening to me right now, who like keeps saying, I want to escape this matrix, I hate this prison planet, it sucks, this is the worst, I hate it, I have to pay my bills and taxes, and you just complain and complain and complain, and then you find out about simulation theory, or you find out about some prison planet theory, and then you start believing that things would be better for you if you were purely just energy. Okay, well let's take away all the laughter, all of the like, take away the orgasm, take away what it feels like to eat food, take away what it feels like to look into the eyes of your child, like take away everything, sight, touch, taste, everything. Take away it all. You never get to listen to your favorite music again. You never get to taste anything, any amazing food ever again. You never get to see the beautiful view that you're looking at right now. You would never get to see. You would have no sensory. You would just be a orb of nothingness. Trust me, if you went from feeling to what I just explained, you would be banging on the walls of the prison cell saying, put me back in the body now. Now. I want to go back. I love that feeling. I love that taste. I love that view. I love that hike that I took. I love that one time me and my dog were walking around like in the middle of nature. I love that my first kiss. I loved watching my baby be born. You would be so thirsty to have sensory again, to have a central nervous system again. And you would look back at your so-called spiritual self wishing so badly to quote-unquote escape this matrix like he was a fucking idiot. Because he didn't know what the hell he was talking about. So I hope this resonates with people, because a lot of, like, the last 2 to 3 years for me, I've been watching a lot of people up on this high horse talking about how bad this place is. This thing called Earth, this thing called life, this thing called reality. And it's so obvious the bitterness in these people, because they're not grateful for everything they have, which, by the way, is everything. Because here in the physical reality, here in the realm, here in the matrix, you have it all. You just can't realize it. And it's not because you don't want to realize it, it's because you do not believe. This is why in the Matrix movie, when you saw Morpheus points at Neo and he says, he believes. And then Neo starts fucking going God level. Like he goes Super Saiyan. Because he finally has healed his ego. Mr. Anderson had a damaged ego. Mr. Anderson was gullible. Mr. Anderson thought everything was as it was told to him. He was a sheep. And then he took the red pill or whatever. He becomes liquid Mercury again. That's Mercury, the mind, the trickster. So much mythology there. But there was a lot of heavy points that we just kind of surfed on. And perhaps for the rest of today's live stream, we could tackle some of your questions regarding this. I really love some Belgian beers. There's this one, Vespeleteren. It's super hard beer to get, but one time I was traveling and I found a bar that had it, and it was absolutely mind-blowing. It was a Belgian quadruple, super syrupy, very like Coca-Cola-like. Like it almost reminded me of
oh wait,
what's that one
it's 'cause
soda
I'm a
that they have
scab,
in
you
America?
fool.
Dr. Pepper. Like it almost tasted like Dr. Pepper. It was insane. Really amazing.
I was just like them. They're not gonna attack me. But I was like, they don't see me. Oh my gosh, that's hecka funny. Anyway, I got this stuff. That's hecka funny. What a fool.
Pass the coffee. That's great to hear. Yeah, I once got really into sourdough, and I even bought a mill so that I could grind my own wheat berries, and it was super cool to, again, like it's like grinding your own coffee. Very few people realize that you could actually buy the whole raw product that's organic, and you could mill it yourself and create your own flour. And it's a really cool thing to invest in, because you can then now do that with many other things. You could do that with the highest quality of rye berries or oats or spelt or whatever. It's definitely worth the investment if you're somebody who's trying to be more of an artisan. Urboshi says, in total disagreement with you on so much today, which is unusual. No judgment though, only love. Fantastic. You should make a live stream, and then you could share your thoughts with the world. Was it what I said about Grok? Are you a Grok user? No, I'm just fucking around. Much love. I'll answer this because we've made it pretty far. You said, can you give us something around what you think is coming with crypto in 2026? You know, kind of my take is that I think there was so much negativity about 2026 in 2024 regarding people who were like cycle studiers, you know, and my own take on the cycle is pretty unique because I talk about the solar and the lunar cycle, and a lot of people were aware that, you know, my truth on the markets were that we are coming up into a very confusing solar cycle, considering how quick the lunar cycle was going to be based on the types of eclipses that we were up against. So we had a total lunar eclipse in earlier this year, and then we had another one recently in September, and then we have one more coming up in early March. And that actually is the same exact setup that we had in the 2019 bear market, where we were just looking like shit all the way until the final lunar eclipse. And then we bottomed, and then we had a J recovery all the way until the next solar eclipse. And then that was the start of the next solar cycle. Unfortunately, that did lead to a premature top in around July 2019. Some of you might remember. And then we had the C19 crash, which was March 2020. So if you look at the Bitcoin chart, for example, and you zoom all the way out and you look at how we topped in January 2017, we crashed into December 2018, exactly 1 year later, and then we had this like bull structure up until March of 2019, followed by a J curve recovery. Like literally we went parabolic effectively all the way until the end of June of 2019. Well, funny enough, the start of the solar cycle was on the July like 1st or 2nd total solar eclipse. So we had a perfect recovery into that eclipse, and then we chopped sideways for a long time. Like it took us until almost 500 days later to start a new cycle. So there's that. There's like this weirdness behind, we're up against the same setup of total lunar eclipses as we were back in the end of, or let's just call it 2018 through 2019, to be super simple with you guys. That was of course a crypto bear market, right? We can't deny that. Funny thing about this is in 2018, in the month of November, that was like the worst of it. Like we looked like absolute shit in crypto, and then it pivoted kind of around mid-December, and that was the same effect that we had back in 2022, where we had like the worst of it was in November, and then we pivoted around December 2022. So there's this like really shit November followed by the pivot, and it goes up into the next solar cycle. So maybe I could, like, this is something I could just show you guys, because I know some people like wanted me to talk about crypto and boring.
Not that big
But
a
I'll
deal.
quickly, like, I'll do my best, and I'll cover this in much more detail on my next Red Pill podcast. Now that I'm bringing it up. So that'll be out tomorrow. over at patreon.com/watersabove. And I already told you guys I am doing my first Black Friday sale ever over there, which is pretty cool because I wasn't able to do.
Hello?
Sorry, I wanted to respond. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. I can go with you, but I'm not gambling.
Okay.
I do have money for you though.
You already gave me.
Oh yeah, that's right. I gave it to you. If you want to write me a check, I have more cash if you want. Ka-chow.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't need to. I was just gonna use the one that you
Oh, okay.
gave me.
Alright.
You wanna go?
No, you can go.
By myself? Okay.
Oh.
Do you wanna go? You can go. You don't have to, but I'm
No,
just.
but it's like I'm not gonna play, and then if you want to stay a long time because you're doing really good,
I won't stay a long time.
I don't want you
If
to.
you come, you can force me because I know you get mad.
Yeah, right.
It's up to you. If you don't wanna go through that with
Oh, ho, 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 ho. The question is, do I really want to go to the casino? Or would I rather stay here and play Tarkov for the next foreseeable future? That's the real question. Because I'm not going to be gambling. You know why? Because I have not been winning. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I have not been winning. And it sucks. You know? Because when you gamble and you win, man, it's the best time. Nothing can stop you. Nothing. Nothing can stop you. Everything is hella cool. Nothing can stop you when you're hitting those jackpots, baby, is good. Baby is good. Yes. But if you're not, man, it hurts. Man, it is not good. Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. Which shotgun should I use today? Which one should I use? I'll equip it And then I'm taking this, what? I can't disassemble this? How come? I wanted to take out this here. Strut, uninstall. Boom, right there, puta madre. And then I can put this on another. What? I already have one. You fool. Oh, I can't put it on there. Anyway, so do I want this though? I mean, yeah, kind of. I guess it just goes to the Mossberg 133. The MP 133. Oh yeah. Anyway. What is this? Smoke grenade? Matches. Spark plug. Okay, so I got the spark plug. Got the matches. Killer. Ooh, what's he got? Thank you.
It's just a little something.
Ah, some sweet noodles. Thanks, Tom. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, and then hooking it up. Where's some noodles? Mm-hmm. What is this? This backpack? Okay. 8 minutes. Let's see. One more time.
Do it last year. Patreon didn't have the option to do discounts, but now I can. So that's really awesome. Let me hide the comment and kind of show you guys what the hell I'm talking about. So we have here, we have the final lunar eclipse of the lunar cycle. We bottomed right before it, and then we had this J recovery I was telling you about straight into the next eclipse, and then we chopped and chopped and chopped and didn't really do shit until the final solar eclipse. Here it was the same effect, where we crashed into the final lunar eclipse, and then we had this recovery perfectly into the next solar eclipse, or the start of the solar cycle, followed by some chop, and the Bitcoin actually lifted off from there, but it again has this relationship with the fourth solar eclipse of the solar cycle, where it actually starts to break prior highs. So you see the same thing over here, breaks the high. The same thing over here. We were pretty well extended, but that's like when it really starts to kick in, moving into the last solar eclipse of the solar cycle. Again, this is something that requires like a lot more detailed breakdown, but what we're up against is kind of weird, because all past cycles, Bitcoin is doing something very, very different right now. And a lot of people continue to lean on this 4-year cycle theory to try to express how either the top is in or the bear market has started or whatever. But I think they're disregarding the fact that the energetics that we're working with are much more in alignment for Bitcoin to no longer have these 70% correction bear market things that they used to have. And also the timing of the next lunar eclipse means that if there were to be a quote-unquote bear market bottom, guys, it's soon. Based on, like, unless everything I've ever taught goes to shit, it means it's very soon, based on the relationship that Bitcoin has with the final lunar eclipse of the lunar cycle. Just like it has a relationship with the final solar eclipse of the solar cycle. Again, if this is something you're interested in, I'll just focus on that with tomorrow's red pill, because it's something that I'm working on now that we're seeing Bitcoin do what it's doing, and all the narratives that are tied to it, and all this extreme fear we're getting in the market. I think anyone here who's interested in what's to come in 2026 would benefit greatly from us just like isolating out the solar and lunar cycle stuff, and then you'll see where all the liquidity and Fed like plans ahead are tied into my theory. So even though I'm not like focusing solely on that, like some people are, I believe there's a lot of alignment. This is why I'm feeling like we're in something we haven't experienced before, and for the people that are thinking, well, this bull market is different, then why shouldn't we also think that the market that is different too? Again, you zoom in on the Bitcoin monthly chart, and you're going to see it's been in a forever bull run. Like, so it's really the altcoins that are the weird, part of the conversation this cycle. Solana barely hit a new all-time high. Ethereum barely hit a new all-time high. XRP barely hit a new all-time high. Even Binance barely hit a new all-time high. And then we're getting hit with extreme fear right now, while Bitcoin has been spending like 2 years in price discovery, and it's in this month that everyone would expect it to happen. And then they're throwing out all this shit about Michael Saylor and Epstein and all that. Like, for me, it's a classic bear trap. But anyways, I'll talk more about it in tomorrow's podcast. Those are usually an hour and a half long, and I go very, very deep into the decodes for the following couple weeks, sometimes couple months. But also tomorrow I want to focus on where we're at across the board, because we know we're moving into this month of December, which will have a lot of changes in the way the Fed is operating, and that has a lot to do with my theory for 2026 as well. 477 regarding the heavy metal detox. Zeolite is great for that.
Am I on the other side of this thing? Hooray. Oh no, I gotta keep going this way.
This is a good question. Lunar CDR3083 says, what are your thoughts on Brian Johnson's anti-aging protocol? Is this something you would or are considering doing yourself, if not already? You know, it's interesting. There's a lot of things that he does that I've actually been, like, I've known about and that I've practiced. Like, one of them is this, what is that one meal he makes? It's called, like, nutty pudding or something, but it has, like, flaxseed meal, chia, cinnamon, hemp. It has, like, a lot of, like, this is, like, a lot of good shit. There's some pretty
Alright.
important stuff that are going in.
I just wanted to
that's
do that.
happening in this protocol, like the knowledge around how you don't need
That was
so much
hard.
dietary protein. That's spot on. A lot of people think they need this insane amount of protein in their diet, and that's just absolutely horseshit. And anybody who studies longevity knows that that's actually a burden to the kidneys, and if the kidneys are burdened, then effectively you won't be filtering lymph, and if you're not filtering lymph, you're going to have health problems because that's your body's garbage disposal system. So yeah, like the high protein diet shit is an absolute scam, so the work that he's doing is really solid on that too. My only thing about him is he's doing way too many like medical procedures. And all of this like blood transfusion shit with your son and his father, and like that's really interesting. It's not something it's not something I would do. And the one health marker about him that I'm still quite confused about is his skin color. He looks pale white. Like I haven't seen somebody who's quote unquote so healthy, at least according to blood tests, who looks like the same color as a piece of paper. Now that's not me making fun of him or judging him. I'm just speaking to the fact that like I've seen like people from Iceland that have more skin color than he, like have more like life in their skin than he has. I've seen people from Greenland that look more like vital than he does. Like he doesn't look alive. He's super fucking smart. He's very sharp, so his brain's like there clearly. That's the one thing that I don't get personally. Like, why is he so pale? Now I know the reasons why he could be, but it's just very fascinating how he's doing all of these procedures. He's taking all of these supplements. You know, that's the one thing that I would also say I don't agree on. If you're taking 100 supplements a day, this is putting an insane burden on the kidneys. So, as I said earlier, this is something you don't want to get into. My truth, and where I'll wrap this up, is I think a lot of what he's doing could just be solved with putting into his protocol, maybe on a bi-weekly or monthly basis, a 48-hour dry fast. I think if he just implemented a 48-hour dry fast, and maybe he is doing some form of intermittent fasting or water fasting, or maybe he's done an experiment with fasting, I'm not sure. But I think like if he just made that part of his protocol more regularly, he won't need all these fucking supplements. But again, I do tip my hat to the man because at least he's doing the work and he's documenting it. Like a lot of people don't document what they do, so they're just like, trust me bro energy, you know? Like people ask for advice and then the person basically tells them what either they've learned from some regurgitated study they read, or they tell them something anecdotal. But with Brian Johnson, it's not just anecdotal. It's like, let me show you let me show you the results, like the actual data, which I find, I respect that. I respect that a lot. So, in that way, I don't know everything he's doing. I haven't learned too much about him. He became quite famous, and because he's into anti-aging and a lot of the stuff that I've been personally fascinated with for some time, of course, naturally, he's going to come across my radar. And at first, like many people, I went into it initially like kind of judgmental because of what I learned about the supplement intake. And then once I saw what he was actually eating and some other protocols he was doing, I was thinking like, oh, okay, he's not just like a walking, talking meme. And his vibe in interviews seems that he is actually trying to help people. Like, that I respect too. Like, it does feel like he's actually trying to get people to care about their health. But I'm not sure if you could be a poster child of health if you yourself are taking that many supplements. It's just, the human body wasn't designed to be consuming all of these crushed up powders. You're not a chicken. like a chicken has a digestive system that can actually deal with rocks and sediment and sand, and it doesn't really harm the vessel. Whilst a human being, our kidneys get super burdened by even small amounts of inorganic minerals. So this is why drinking water all day is not necessarily beneficial, because most water is packed with inorganic minerals. The same thing with consuming way too much salt. Not that I'm against salt or sodium, it's just when you consume so much of it, it's a burden to the kidneys. So unless you're in tandem consuming distilled water with a high salt consumption, you're going to have that issue. And then people are against distilled water because they're saying that it leaches minerals. You're absolutely right, because you're not a fucking chicken. You're not supposed to be holding onto dust and dirt and sand and rocks, small little crushed up rocks in your body. You're supposed to get that out of you. What you do want to store, at least for a moment, would be organic minerals, which are different. So in liquid form, directly from real food, not because the water that hit the rocks cascading off of the waterfall brought some sediment along with it. You're not designed to store large amounts of that. It's just not the way the body works. And you'll know that you're not designed to have a lot of it, because if I gave you a cup of mud, you would fucking throw it up. You're not an elephant. You just do not have the digestive system or the inner workings to handle that. And then you wouldn't want it if I showed you it. So this is why they can hide it in supplement form, or they hide it in another way. It's called fortified foods. You guys have heard of this? A lot of people shit on fortified foods because they say like, oh, well, you know, it's low quality supplements. That doesn't fucking matter. It's that the supplements are coming in rock form. It's calcium crushed up into powder that has been turned back into a tablet to sell you as a pill. You can get calcium in your food in an organic form, not the inorganic powder supplement form. The same thing with zinc, the same thing with iron, like all of these things. Mother Nature has them all inside of the food already. So yeah, like, I think that that's probably the best, most honorable reply that I could give to the Brian Johnson situation. Yeah, einkorn bread is my favorite. There's a baker out of Chico, California, Dave Miller, I think his name is. He was like one of the guys that put einkorn on the map. And then I got to taste my first 100% einkorn sourdough bread one time, and it blew my mind. It's literally the most delicious ever. All right, family, we're approaching 2 hours. This was quite a time together. I'm gonna try to stick around for a little bit more, answer some of these questions on the way out. Cloudy Sweet Pea says, what's the best protein per kilo, do you think? This is really subjective, Cloudy. What I would say that's most important here is the amount of lean mass you have. So if you're aware of your body fat percentage, you want to figure out what your leftover amount is once you remove the fat. Of course, you can't remove the skeleton or the the vital organs or any of that. You do like a DEXA scan or something a little bit more sophisticated. But you could generally gauge where you're at in body fat percentage by just typing in, for example, you're a woman, you would type in woman body fat percentage examples, and then it'll show you on Google Images or whatever different body fat levels from 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever. Typically women naturally have a higher body fat percentage than men, so this is why I'm telling you do it based on gender, because if you're looking at a man at 20%, I mean, it's going to be different for you. So that's a good starting point. And then generally, like as low as 0.7 or 0.6 even multiplied by that by lean mass is pretty much good enough. And for people that are out there that are looking at things in pounds, let's say you weigh 180 pounds. If you were to do 0.7 by that, that's 126 grams of protein. That's more than enough. And that's assuming that you're shredded. Like, we're saying you have almost no fat. So the point is, using lean mass is actually a little bit more appropriate, because as you have more lean mass and less body fat, then the amount of exogenous protein that you consume starts to become a little bit more important, especially if you're planning on maintaining body composition. So to not make things super fucking complicated for people, in basic math, 0.7 times body weight in pounds is more than enough for most people, unless you're trying to become like a serious athlete and you're naturally now eating a lot more calories because of your caloric burn. For example, most people are consuming between like 1,500 to, let's just say, 2,500 calories per day. That means most people on Earth are kind of seated around that bandwidth. If you're somebody who needs to eat 5,000 calories a day just to not lose weight because you're a swimmer or you're somebody who's like a professional athlete, then naturally you're gonna get more dietary protein than the average person just because of the caloric intake being higher. You understand? But what you're hitting in your numbers is more than sufficient for what most people want when they ask this question, which is either maintenance or it's hypertrophy. So for the people that want hypertrophy, if you really want an insurance policy on all of this, you could consider 0.8 times body weight, but still, it's like overdoing it for most people. And this 1 pound per body weight or 1.5 pound, that's fucking nonsense. One other thing that's really helpful here that people have learned is by reducing their protein amount to a more responsible amount, they now make up more room for carbohydrate. If you're somebody who cares about macronutrient profiles, so this is another thing to consider too. Some people, they have really low carb intake and then they want to have this super high protein intake, and then their workouts suck or their libido's fucked, or like they just have a lot of problems with performance and with brain fog. But then they actually listen to this advice, they lower it down to 0.7 per pound regarding the protein per grams. Then now they put in the carbs for the protein that they once ate, and then they feel so much better when they're working out. Libido's better, they're more focused. Yeah, because they have more glucose now. And they don't rely on it solely through the pathway of gluconeogenesis. Donna Harper, yeah, I really hope that I was not insulting. I was really trying to not insult Brian Johnson when I was saying that. I know you're messing around and we're having fun, but I'm probably considered whatever. I don't care. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I was trying to make some solid points and get people to understand where I'm coming from, because at the end of the day, like, when you see somebody's hair, skin, nails, eyes, that's a good marker for health. And when you see somebody like Brian Johnson, and honestly, I haven't seen many people as pale as him, but then he's kind of held up as the poster child of health and wellness, it is kind of odd. But again, it's just, it could be genetics. Even though his father doesn't look as pale as he, it could be genetics, it could be other things, but I highly doubt he's deficient in anything. If anything, he's very, very overkill in all regards, whether that be phytonutrients, micronutrients. Although he is, I believe he said that he's. Oh, okay. So Rico Connor said he expressed that he avoids the sun because of skin damage, aging. Oh, well, like, I mean, he's right technically. The skin does get damaged by the sun. The thing that we would want is sun in the eyes. When people talk about vitamin D, first of all, vitamin D isn't real. It's a mythology. It's a hormone, and the hormone actually activates by sunlight in the eyes, in the iris, and then it unlocks a sterol, and then the rest is happening hormonally. So it is not sun on skin that creates any benefit for this concept called quote-unquote vitamin D, even though vitamin D is only something that shows up on blood tests. And blood tests were created by the same people who created the PCR test and all the other bullshit that people believe that's real. So, yeah. Anyways, that's another side conversation, I'm sure. Got a super chat from Senpai. Says, first of all, I'm really
she got
grateful for
strep throat.
It means a lot to me.
Man,
You
good
said
thing.
feminism has influenced people for the last 75 years, and recent boom red pill ideology feel like a match brought to gaslighting laden haystack. Classic dive and conquer tactics, not to doom and gloom, but I don't see a way out. This is kind of why, like, when I started using the term take the clear pill, because, like, I was starting my YouTube channel at the same time of the rise of what started to become, like, this woke red pill dating stuff. Like, all this, like, what are the channels? There was a bunch of stuff, and predominantly the rise of Andrew Tate. Now, of course, my connection to the red pill concept was through the deep esoteric, the breakdowns in the Matrix movie, which were not what these people like Andrew Tate and all of them kind of took and ran with and made it into shit. No offense, but I think they all serve their purpose. I'm not here to talk badly about another man that's not in the room, but I'm feeding off of what you're giving me right now. I understand what you mean. How we have this like backlash effect. It's the same thing with veganism versus carnivore diet. Because veganism got so fucking annoying to listen to,
where are you
then
going?
carnivore diet gets invented. And then now we see all the people with carnivore diet are either slowly dying or they're becoming exposed for anabolic steroid use or whatever. And that's tragic. I would never want somebody to get hurt. I would never want somebody to die. But all the poster childs of the carnivore diet are slowly withering away because you're not designed to eat flesh all day. You're not a fucking lion. Sorry, but your digestive system is just not designed to do such, especially in raw form. So anyways, that's a side note, but I'm just revealing to you how we got to this point. It's that we have one thing becomes really popular and quite annoying, and then it's the recoil effect, and the other complete polar opposite of that thing gets invented, and then that gets popular and that gets annoying, and then we now have to like have it all go to war with each other, and then when the war is over, a new psyop will be birthed from that. And that's what the New World Order wants. The New World Order, the people who run the world, want you all to fight with each other. Because then if you fight with each other, you'll never fight against them. So if you sit around all day and you're like, Trump is the best, and no, Biden was better, and then this guy, and then, or the liberals, or the conservatives, or this, it's like they just want you fighting all the time. So the more that you fight against each other, you stay distracted. And then when the fighting gets a little too crazy, they'll throw you some bread and circus. They'll throw you something to either momentarily bring you together for the wrong reasons, and you'll probably bite that hook and get caught, because humans always do. This was the C-19 event where they told you to stay inside your houses, don't go outside, don't go see your grandma, because you probably killed her by mistake by sneezing too close to the Thanksgiving turkey or whatever. And then they also told you a couple weeks later when George Floyd was taken out, they said now it's okay to go outside, and now you could also get really close to each other. You could riot, destroy your cities, throw bricks through, buildings, whatever. Just have fun. And then once that got
Пацаны,
too
ща
out of hand, they were like,
накроют
okay guys, chill the fuck out. Here's a stimulus check. Now shut up, sit at home, and order things on Amazon Prime. This was like the classic, you know? So we're just revealing sort of the machinations of this psyop. So as many of you are aware, feminism was created by Zionism. Feminism was created by people at the think tank of the Frankfurt School. This is something I talk about a lot. And now people hear me say Zionism and they say, why are you talking about the Jews? It's not the Jews. Who cares? Religions are there for us, not for them. So Zionism is just the mind parasite that runs this entire realm. They are the stewards of our realm, the Zionists. And they created this thing called feminism. So at the same time, they are the same people that created this thing that is now considered like the red pill dating content. And the whole masculine and feminine thing, and the divine feminine, and like what it's like to be a man, and like all of these definitions are now going back to like this quasi classicalism, but it doesn't fucking work, because when we look at a time where like women didn't work, men were also allowed to beat women in public and they wouldn't be held liable. Like there'd be no arrest or due process. So like people need to understand what we're working with here today, and like how peak insane it could get because of this information age where we're all allowed to get access to each other's opinions and truth. So my take on all of this is pretty simple, that the same people that gave us feminism are the same people that gave us this red pill, what this red pill woke kind of dating, gender identity, politics bullshit, it's all the same. And it's the divide and conquer. So you said not to doom and gloom, but I don't see a way out. It's very simple. Just operate from your own honorable knowing. Like, operate from your truth. And if you're somebody who's single right now, be very quick to identify red flags. Be very quick to be like, I need boundaries here if something gets weird. And the same thing goes for either gender. Like whatever you represent, whatever you're into. Because all I see that it's done for the world, these two like polarizing opposites, is it's making people more confused about what they are and about what they should represent and how they should go about communication. And I'm not sure where the end game is there, but I could tell you what I think it would be. It'll likely be artificial intelligence and humanoid robots will come to save the day, because humans will have so much identity tied onto what they are that compatibility will become nearly impossible. And social awkwardness will be at peak. So we have to consider that as we've become more comfortable utilizing mobile devices and communicating through like the way we are right now, it's making people suffer when they have to have face-to-face communication with real people and actually go out into the world of dating, or if somebody experiences a divorce, and then they have to go out and back into that world again. So for first-timers or people that are seasoned, it's like we're at this place right now where it's becoming tough. But funny that I bring this up, because Project in 2026 that I'm going to release will have a solution. And I'll leave it at that, because that's definitely something I've been thinking about a lot lately. Cloudy Sweet Pea says, are vitamin D supplements still good? And no, they're not good at all. They're nothing. Vitamin D is nothing. In the wintertime, you still have the sun, the daylight comes out. You don't need to actually have a sunny day. As long as the sun is out at all, even if it's cloudy, even if it's rainy, it's still providing an incredible bandwidth of frequency. It's able to light the all of outside. Even moonlight can be beneficial into your eyes. So, but that's like a little bit more esoteric. The point that I'm getting to is, if it's daylight, no matter what season, you're not getting more of a benefit if it's a clear sunny day getting sunlight in your eyes versus if it's a cloudy day and you're getting sun in your eyes. There's really no benefit. It's just you're getting sun in your eyes. It's better than not getting any sun in your eyes at all when it comes to this concept of hormone, the hormone D, not vitamin D, hormone D. But the kind of the wrapping up of the point is what will be a problem is sunny, clear day, UV8, UV9, and you're getting that sun on the skin for long periods of time while sitting still. That will destroy the skin. So you must be moving when you have clear sunny day in like the summertime vibes where you're getting UV4 plus. So there's no perfect science here. It's just you'll know because your skin starts burning. So obviously there's going to start to become damage naturally. It doesn't show up all right away. Some people will say like, you know, well, you could change your diet, you could eat less seed oils and that will help. Of course, sure. But like at the end of the day, like your skin is not designed to be getting hit by sun like that all the time. Even melanated people, like it's the iris that benefits the most. It's the eye that benefits the most. Got a super chat from Jacob Breaks It Down. How's it going, brother? I appreciate you showing up. You said you catch that new NF album. Who's that? Opening up Spotify right now. NF. Should I? Oh yeah, I've watched one of this guy's music videos. All right, yeah, I'll check it out. It's a new EP. Very cool.
Ништяк, пацаны, сегодня мы кайфуем.
Nice.
All right, well, I appreciate the super chat and I appreciate
So I
you
got some
sharing this
soap.
art with me.
All right. It's been a long time.
All right, family. I have to head out. It's been over an hour. It's been beautiful connecting with you all. 540 of you all the way until the end. It's been amazing. This will be up for the day. Hope you enjoy the playback if you're coming here a little bit late. About 10 minutes in, we started to get pretty spicy, started talking about this Michael Saylor character and what's going on with him and his ritual for the year. Anyone that's joined at the very beginning and you've made it this far, it really means the world to me. I'm super grateful for every single one of you. And hopefully we can start doing these live streams more regularly in the future if you guys would like me to, if you care. Anyways, I will be catching you all very soon. Tomorrow I will have the new Red Pill podcast coming out at patreon.com/watersabove. If you go over there, you're going to see that there is a Black Friday sale happening on Patreon. I haven't done one of those ever because Patreon didn't allow me to until this year. We had a big update. So you'll see that there is a discount that's automatically added at checkout, either for the first month of your membership or for the full year. If you wanted to do the annual membership, I think it comes out to almost 30% off. So it's like you get 4 months free of the year. Pretty crazy deal, and it'll be live through Cyber Monday. So I'll be keeping that up until then. Appreciate and I'm grateful for every single one of you. And if anybody's interested in any Black Friday stuff going on over at my website, let me know, and we might just do it. Appreciate and I'm grateful for every single one of you. Thank you all so much. Much love.
It's not too late to outgrow the family hairline. Through hymns.
But it says 15. So I guess it's very low. Should be high, no? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to do it for today. Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. I wish you well. I wish you well today and tomorrow and forever. Alright, good night. Good night, lady.